So today is July 28th. It's been 4 weeks since Biden announced that he's not going to run for re-election in 2024. Um, I think history is going to be very kind to President Biden. Um, and history is going to prove that he is one of the greatest, if not the greatest, president since World War II. I was not a big fan of President Biden 4 years ago when he first won the election. I thought that Obama did a really bad job, at least foreign policy wise, during his 8 years. It was during Obama's terms that China and Russia, these totalitarian regimes, grew extremely powerful. And Biden was the deputy of Obama, so I figured he would just be a continuation of Obama policy. And the first time that I changed my view of Biden was right after the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan. And everybody remember how big of a disaster that was. The whole world's media had their foci on that event and reporting what a great embarrassment U.S. Army was during their evacuation from Afghanistan. Leaving heavy weaponry behind, being chased out by the Taliban. And it was during all these ridicule and supposed humiliation on the U.S. Army that President Biden came out and announced to the whole world that he took full responsibility for this withdrawal. And at that moment, I just felt it was such a refreshing remark from any president or any leader in that matter. And have you ever hear any world leader, whether in US or Europe or China, any major power, whenever things go wrong, they came out and say, I take full responsibility of that? I have not. I have not even hear the CEO of a company or even parents, when things don't go their way or there's something embarrassing happens, they come out and say it's my responsibility. Trump is the polar opposite of that. If anything goes wrong, he would point everyone else around him. The last person he would blame is himself. So that just shows me that not only was Biden someone who has the courage to take a responsibility, but he also has the humility to assume this responsibility. Because we all know that the war of Afghanistan did not start by Biden. It was started by W. Bush. And since then, W. Bush, Obama, Trump, they all wanted to withdraw from Afghanistan, but none of them could because it would take tremendous amount of political capital to do that, as we saw in the actual withdrawal during Biden's term. But President Biden realized that it was something necessary the U.S. had to do. Otherwise, Afghanistan was going to just be this bottomless pit hole that U.S. has to sink more and more money into and will have no concrete results. So he was the one who bit the bullet, took the hit on his political capital to do the right thing. And from that point on, I became a incredible, just a big fan of President Biden. And the second incident was right before the Ukrainian war. A week before Russia invaded, President Biden came out and announced to the world that Russia is going to invade Ukraine in the next couple of days. And in hindsight, of course, we said, of course, Russia was going to invade. But at that time, you got to remember, after Biden made this announcement, the Lavrovs, even Putin himself, came out and said, oh, these are just rumors coming from the West to try to tarnish the image of Russia. Russia would never invade Ukraine. And the 200,000 troops they amassed at the border between Ukraine and Russia was only there for military exercise. Even today, these liars in Kremlin, they still don't call it a war. They call it a special military operation. So it took a lot of courage for a world leader, the world leader of the free world, President Biden, to come out and announce to the world, we are going to, we have the concrete information that Russia is going to do this. It's not easy. It was not easy during that time, because the intelligence President Biden had was probably saying that we have, we know 80% the likelihood Russia is going to invade. So imagine if Russia did not invade, Biden would look like a fool for making this prediction. But he was willing to take that chance, because he knew that if this thing happened, U.S. is going to be was going to be able to unite NATO within a very short of time to support Ukraine and fight back against Russia. And that's exactly what happened. And even if Russia did not invade, Biden was willing to take that hit on his personal credibility, instead of letting a war takes place that might escalate into a worldwide conflict. So it's again, it's just the courage and even the faith that President Biden has that sets him apart from all the other presidents that since World War II, especially the likes of Obama, W. Bush, and Trump, who, in my opinion, these three in a row, they did more damage to America than the combination of all the external enemies of America, including Russia, China, Iran, North Korea. And it's too bad that President Biden is not running for re-election. And I'm going to delve into what's the reason, why he quit. But he thinks that he's doing the right thing, for the country by supporting Kamala Harris. But I think this is the beginning of U.S. downfall, because I think President Biden was the last hope for America to repent and turn to God. Even though he was a Catholic, but I don't believe God cares about our denominations. He cares about our hearts, our character. And President Biden had proven that he has more character than the likes of Trump and Bush and Obama. And he embodies what a real American is supposed to be like. Someone with courage, with faith, and with integrity. So I will continue to be praying for President Biden and his family. And may God have mercy on America.